Forgotten social media. Before every app was trying to be TikTok, or worse, a marketplace pretending to be a social feed, there was a wildly experimental era of social media, a time when developers would just throw ideas at the wall and hope they stuck. Today, we're cracking open the dusty vault of the 2000s and 2010s and paying tribute to the platforms that you might have forgotten about. Vine. Imagine trying to build a personality in 6 seconds. That's all the time you've got. No jump cuts or 10 minutes of exposition, just 6 seconds of chaos, brilliance, or borderline incoherence. And somehow that format really worked. It even gave birth to stars that we really wish it didn't, and gave us the origin stories of YouTubers and TikTokers that we now definitely pretend not to recognize in public. But it wasn't just the creators, it was the culture. Vine became a language. If someone said,
Road work ahead.
and you weren't hardwired to say,
Yeah, I sure hope it does.
had you even been born in 2016? Sadly, Twitter acquired it and did Twitter things, and by 2017, Vine was just a memory. But I do think we were spared, because if Vine was still around now, it would undoubtedly be the most annoying platform ever, even more than the absolute monument to all our sins that is TikTok. Yik Yak was like if Twitter and Reddit had a baby and then abandoned it near a college campus. It launched in 2013 and let users post anonymously to a feed visible within a 5-mile radius. What could go wrong with a user base mainly made up of younger people with zero accountability, you ask? Everything. Absolutely everything that you could possibly imagine.
Just a quick note, my microphone stopped working at this point as I was recording and I had to use my backup, so sorry if it doesn't sound quite as good as usual. Campuses were flooded with bullying, roasting professors, threats, declarations of love, and, just as you'd expect, absolute unfiltered nonsense. It was any college's worst nightmare. It got so bad that schools started banning it, app stores threatened to remove it, and eventually, the app was shut down in 2017. There was even a resurrection attempt in 2021, but by then the internet was either too sanitized or too splintered to let it thrive again. Honestly, even though I never used it, it certainly seemed like a sight to behold at the time. Peach. Peach arrived in 2016 like a breath of pastel-scented fresh air. Created by one of Vine's co-founders, it aimed to make social media fun again, not addictive, just fun. Instead of endlessly scrolling, you interacted with fun little text commands. Type GIF and drop a meme, or type draw and sketch something. It felt really personal, like a digital journal. It never tried to create trends or viral moments, and didn't have any social media staples like likes or followers or even ads. Just a relaxing pastel atmosphere and a really satisfying UI. But as you might have guessed, a relaxing pastel atmosphere really doesn't pay rent. Without ads or subscriptions or any other typical monetization strategy or user base that stuck around, Peach quietly slipped away, surviving only in underrated apps Reddit threads. Still though, if someone was to resurrect it today, with the massive movement away from addictive social media that's been happening in the last while, it might actually find the audience it originally deserved, or flop even harder. It's difficult to say for sure. Google Plus. If any app deserves some kind of recognition for effort, it's Google Plus. Google threw everything at the wall to try and create the next Facebook. They came up with ideas like social circles, where you could drag and drop your contacts into specific circles like work or sports or music or anything else, and share things exclusively with those circles. And it did kind of work for the enterprise space, but for the average user that they were chasing, it was just a bit too intricate when things like WhatsApp were already heavily integrated in people's everyday lives. It launched in 2011 and was quietly shut down in 2019 following a data breach. And in that time, it never really figured out why it existed besides trying to be the Facebook killer, which it very much was not. That said, its photo editing and sharing tools were weirdly robust. Some of us actually used them. A lot. Quietly and ashamedly. To this day, if you check old Google image URLs, you'll probably find traces of someone's Google Plus life. Myspace. You simply cannot talk about forgotten social media without mentioning Myspace. Before Facebook took over and everyone in your family was posting minion memes and your weird aunt was updating everyone on her divorce, there was Myspace. Launched in 2003, it was basically the Wild West of early social networking. Everyone had a profile. Everyone had a top friends list, and yes, you could literally add HTML code to customize your page. That meant glitter text, auto-played music, seizure-inducing animated backgrounds, and if you're able to get one working, an embedded playlist that blasted My Chemical Romance or Paramore the second the page loaded. Tom was everyone's first friend, and honestly, the most loyal one we ever had online. He never asked for your personal data, never posted weird and aggressive political takes, just sat there. Wait, give me a second, I used the wrong there in my notes. Smiling in that white t-shirt. For a while, MySpace literally was the internet. It made some of the biggest bands in the world what they are today. It introduced us to bulletins, which were basically chaotic mass DMs, and made us feel like we were coding geniuses when our profile layout finally stopped breaking. But as Facebook rose and simplicity became the trend, MySpace's glittery chaos just couldn't keep up. Still, there's an entire generation where whenever someone says you've changed, there's a part of them that can still hear an MCR track autoplay in the distance. Alright, that's it for today. I really went down a rabbit hole for this video and I have so much more material ready, so if you want to see a part 2 happen, please let me know. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Also, I've been away for a couple of days in the UK, so this video might be a couple of days late. Other than that, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.